Hi friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Films. My name is Alan. It's about 90 degrees in here, so sorry for my appearance. I'm in full summer mode right now. I might not even be wearing pants because that limits my thinking, and it's also one of the benefits of being your own boss. Anyway, I've been rereading the Han Solo trilogy recently in preparation for the new Solo film. It follows Han's early exploits, and I couldn't help but notice how similar Han Solo was to another Disney prince, Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord. Which is why today I'm going to talk about 5 similarities that both characters have. For starters, both Han Solo and Peter Quill are taken away from their parents at a young age. In Legends, Han Solo doesn't really remember his parents, he just remembers his first name, Han. Years later, he finds out his last name is Solo, which is quite a famous surname on his planet of Corellia. But beyond that, he never really finds out why his parents leave him, although he does meet his half-cousin, who is quite a sadistic dickhead. Peter Quill's dad was Ego, who was a Celestial, a super powerful homicidal alien with a god complex. Ego's purpose in life was to run around and impregnate different women across the galaxy in hopes of creating an offspring who has inherited his genetic abilities. Then he and his offspring would go around the world absorbing everything and turning it into an extension of himself. Of course, Ego was too busy to stay around and actually raise his offspring, so Quill never really had a father when he was young. And his mother also died when he was just a child. Ego had killed her by planting a tumor in her brain. Apparently, he had truly fallen in love with her, and that was getting in the way of his global domination plan. After being left alone by their parents, Han Solo and Peter Quill were both raised by criminal organizations, and that would have a huge impact on what kind of men they would grow up to be. Han had been begging on the streets of Corellia when he was recruited by a criminal organization based on an old freighter up in orbit. They ran all types of gambits, including using children as beggars and thieves, along with more elaborate long-term cons where they would rent luxury houses, throw big parties to attract the richest and most powerful people in Corellia so they could con them. Peter Quill, on the other hand, was abducted by a group of Ravagers. Ravagers were a loose coalition of criminals who did pretty much everything: murder, bounty hunting, burglary, smuggling, treasure hunting, and even pirating. The Ravagers were originally supposed to bring Peter to his father Ego, but they decided against it. Despite their less than normal upbringing, Han Solo and Peter Quill both turned out fine because they had good role models in their gangs. Within these criminal organizations, Han Solo and Peter Quill both found new father figures. For Han Solo, that was Garrus Shrike, who was the leader of their small criminal organization. Shrike was an awful man, and whatever interaction he spared for the boy oftentimes came in the form of punches and kicks. But he did manage to teach Han how to be a great con artist and a terrific criminal. Garrus also occasionally introduced Han Solo to the high life and put him to fancy schools, and even gave him an opportunity to be a swoop racer. Although Shrike didn't do this out of the kindness of his heart, these were all a part of long-term elaborate cons that he was using Han Solo for. Peter, on the other hand, had Yondu, who was the head of the Ravager ship that had abducted him. Like Garrus, Yondu was a pretty tough and harsh individual.
I'm very popular, y'all!
But unlike Garrus, Yondu actually cared about Peter, and had tried his best to keep him safe and away from danger, like when the rest of the Ravager crew wanted to eat him, or like when his father Ego wanted Peter back so that he could take all of his energy. Although he rarely told Peter, Yondu was proud of the man Peter had become. Han, on the other hand, ended up in a life-or-death situation with Garrus, and, well, Garrus ended up dying and Han Solo ended up living. What made Han Solo and Peter Quill so invaluable to their criminal organizations was their ability to generate revenue, and that meant they were great thieves. From a young age, Han had been sent on a variety of missions by Garrus, from pickpocketing individuals on the street to stealing prized belongings of the upper class on Corellia. When Han Solo got older, he even managed to steal a giant cache of invaluable artifacts from a Hutt drug processing factory. And I'm pretty sure in the new Solo film, Han will try to rob a train or something like that. Peter Quill, as a member of the Ravagers, stole the Orb of Morak, which held within it an extremely precious Infinity Stone. Star-Lord also stole a guy's leg during a prison breakout, which is a little less impressive, but also a very interesting thing to steal. When Han and Peter became old enough to set out on their own, they started developing a roguish charm that was irresistible to the ladies. Before Han met that spoiled Alderaanian princess, there was Bria, and Zavaria, and Sala, just to name a few. Peter Quill also did quite well with the ladies, so much so that he oftentimes forgot that they were still on his ship when he was pulling evasive maneuvers. Unlike Han, though, Peter liked girls of all different colors, and even ones that had tentacles. And that really just breaches the surface of the similarities between these two heroes. There's something remarkably similar about how they swagger around on camera, project confidence, but also are idiotic in their own lovable way. Maybe the new MCU's version of Peter Quill is Marvel's answer to Han Solo from the original Star Wars film. Well guys, let me know in the comment section below what you think. Are Han Solo and Peter Quill basically the same people? Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you don't miss out on the rest of our awesome content. As usual, thanks for joining us today. Remember, life is a movie and you are the protagonist.